get on with it. Hey, let's get on with it. Welcome to another commentary segment. I'm Mr. Ozzy Rose. About to forget my brain here, but anyways. The topic for this commentary segment is internet. That's right, internet. As most of you know here in Jonesboro, certain parts of town, you just have terrible internet. I get on all the Wi-Fi here, and it don't matter. I was telling Mr. Mike Sue, who owns Nailed and Polished here in Parker Road Specialty Pharmacy, that, I mean, I just really have bad internet troubles when it comes to uploading anything. And him and some of the employees there at Parker Road Specialty Pharmacy said, yeah, this part of town. I said, yeah, the north part of town is that way too. Really, the heart of Jonesboro, the center part of Jonesboro, you don't have uploading issues. But anywhere else, south, north, west, east, then you're going to have internet, troubles as far as uploading goes. And I know in my first live of the day, y'all see me pretty goddamn cranky. Forgive me, Lord, for saying your name in vain, because I didn't mean to do that. But sometimes it angers the fucking piss out of me. I get over it about as quick as I get upset about it. But I know that one thing I can say this, as far as the internet goes, if you don't have patience, it'll teach you patience. I have patience, but when it keeps on and on and on, then my patience wears thin. And I say some words that I probably usually don't say. But like I said, I get over it about as quick as I get there. We're used to in life, if I got pissed off about something, I stayed that way. But I lost the battle. You do when you stay angry. So, I mean, I laugh about it a lot. I've told people when I used to go to NA meetings and AA meetings here, when I would get pissed off at somebody or something, or about something, I would think about it after I got over it real quick. I would think, now, how did you act back there? And then I would laugh my ass off about it in a way, because it was funny. I used to get a little upset with a Jonesboro driver. I still do every now and then. It don't happen every day, but sometimes you'll see me shaking my head when I'm out there strutting. It's because of a stupid fucking Jonesboro driver. There was one that happened today on Highland. This person stops thinking I want to cross the road. You don't stop on Highland. You don't do that, And I was flagging that person going. Finally, I got mad and I said, you dumb motherfucker, because it pissed me off. You don't do that in certain parts of town. I don't want anybody stopping for me. I'm like JPD here, and I'm trying not to get off topic, but I'm like JPD. I want to see traffic running smoothly. I don't want anyone stopping for me. I don't like that. And when I motion for you to go on, you better fucking go. Because I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm really funny. I'm not when I get upset with you. When I motion for you to go on, you don't test this old man's patience, because I will get fucking angry with you really quick. And I won't give a shit. So I don't want to cause wrecks. I want to see traffic running smoothly. I wish I could say the same for uploading on the internet. I'd like to see it running smoothly. But it's out of my hands, as y'all know. That's why I tell people, as soon as I can get my lives uploaded, the commentary segment uploaded, then it's out there. When I was in the north part of Jonesboro, when I lived there, when it come to uploading, it wasn't quite as bad as it is on the west part, but it was still a little bad. But, that's just the way it is. When it's out of my hands, folks, it's out of my hands. So that's why I named this topic Internet. I know I'm not the only one, and I do know that. On certain parts of town, I know it's that way for a lot of people. That's what gives me some comfort, and it does. Internet is the internet, as y'all know. We can't change what it's not doing for us or what it is doing for us, So, but anyways, that gives me some comfort, and it does. I know I try to stay on, I'm trying not to get off topic, but I try to stay on top of things. But it's hard to do that when it's taking its time to upload anything. So that means sometimes I'm late on things, and I don't like being late. I'm a real stickler when it comes to being on time on things. But when it's out of my hands, I have to say, Lord, well, it's out of my hands. And when it's out of my hands, it's out of my hands. I give it 120% on everything I do every day. Do I live an extremely busy life? You bet you. But I love living that extremely busy life. It keeps me on the straight and narrow, and it does. Everyone here in Jonesboro knows if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, they can take good comfort in knowing, well, he ain't drinking and he ain't using, because I'm not. So I'm busy from the time I get up to the time I drop 7 days a week. And that's true. But I love it that way. That's what works for me. Everybody's different, Now, I'm trying not to get off topic with internet, but I know all of you out there, when it comes to the internet, y'all have gotten a little cranky when it comes to the internet. So I know I'm not the only one. I used to be anti-internet. I was reverse. If you would have talked to me 2 years ago, I would have told you I don't do anything on the internet. If I want to talk to someone, I'm not going to text them. I'm going to call them direct. Today, that's a different story. I had to come out of that, and I did. So I don't do phone calls. The only person I do phone calls with is my primary care physician, because they won't just text me. So other than that, I don't talk to anybody. Now, if I had to video call my good friend Major, now that's a different story. But I try to reach him by text, because he lives a busy life. We all live a busy life in today's America. But when it comes to the internet, I will say this. If you don't have any patience, it will teach you that. Now, I have patience, don't get me wrong. I do. But when the internet keeps on and on and on, then I get cranky. That's what I call it. But anyways, I know it's the same for all of y'all. Computers are computers, so it is what it is. Back in the 80s, we didn't have computers. We didn't have cell phones, and stuff like that. So it's a different time and place now. Everything is computer. Everything is internet, My folks, if they were alive today, they would probably have nervous breakdowns, because my mother never even used a smartphone. She used a cell phone up until her death in 2016, So, it is what it is. Am I computer smart? I don't know everything about computers and the internet. I don't. I know quite a little bit, but I don't know everything. And they're always changing it up. So I don't know if I will ever know everything about the internet, but I know enough about the internet to know what makes me cranky when it comes to the internet, uploading especially, But yeah, my mother, I asked her one time, I said, do you want to get you a smartphone and work it? And she said, well, what all does a smartphone do? I said, oh, forget it. I said, you're not smart enough. She started laughing. But really, she didn't want to use one. She used just a regular flip-top cell phone up until her death. So I've learned a lot of things about the internet and smartphone, like from Charlie Moon Smith. She really taught me a lot more things that I didn't know. And I thank God for Charlie, because she did. She taught me a lot. She gave a lot to me, helped me out in a lot of ways, and she surely did. She's a real smart lady. And that's what she told me one time. She said, when it comes to internet and stuff, it'll teach you patience. I said, yeah. I said, but the thing with me is, when something keeps on and on and on, then eventually I get pissed, Charlie. But it doesn't really do no good to get that way when it comes to internet, as y'all know. I mean, yeah, I do have patience with it, but when it keeps on and on and on, then I get angry. But does it help me out anymore? No, it doesn't, But like I said, I get over it, over with it about as quick as I get pissed off with it, the internet. I think that's the way it's always going to be with me and the internet, though. I'm never going to know everything about the internet. I'm never going to know everything about computers in general. Smartphones are just tiny computers. I need to really move up to an iPhone, but I'm still sticking with the smartphone. The internet on it's bad enough. I don't know if I could make it with an iPhone or not. I just really don't know. But in these commentary segments, as y'all know, I just give you examples for me. If you can take anything away from it, use it. If it, however, that more power to you. And thanks for putting up with me. That means a lot to me right there. Just tolerating me here. But the topic for this commentary segment was internet. And I hope you have a great night. God bless you all. Until the next commentary segment, I'm Mr. Ozzy Rose, the strut man here in Jonesboro, saying so long, everybody, and God bless you.